Sue Williams last updated 1429, September 18, 2017. Ribeira Market in Lisbon. In Portugal we have 3 types of protein, declares our tour guide. We have meat. We have fish. And we have codfish. Is codfish not fish? She rolls her eyes. It is much more important than just fish, she sighs with a theatrical shudder. It has kept us alive through the centuries, when we could not have fresh fish from the coast. It was salted to preserve it, and meant we could eat it forever. Roasted sardines served at Antiga 1 de Maio in the Bairro Alto neighborhood of Lisbon, Portugal. Bacalhau, as that salted, dried codfish is known, is still just as much the national staple now as it was during the 14th century, when it fueled the nation's sailors as they crossed the world, claiming parts of Africa, the Middle East, South America, India and China for their vast imperial realm. Read more. Lisbon, Portugal. Places to eat. Hotspot of the week. Braga, Portugal. How Kiwis can drive across Europe on a budget. Odds on that it's a hell of a lot tastier today, though. Visitors can sample it in restaurants roasted on beds of kale, basted in cream with potatoes, and prepared as the traditional casserole bacalhau Gomes de sauce, with, allegedly, no fewer than 365 different bacalhau recipes now in existence. Sardines and codfish are a common sight on menus in Lisbon, Portugal. We can eat it a different way every day of the year, says guide Sophia Martins. And I think some of us do. Portugal's proud food culture stretches back to their discovery of vast caches of codfish off the coast of Newfoundland, when their own stocks of fish, like sardines, proved to be too oily to be dried successfully. It helped enable legendary explorers like Prince Henry the Navigator to launch the Age of Discoveries, Ferdinand Magellan to organize the first circumnavigation of the Earth, and Vasco da Gama to be the first to link Europe and Asia by sea. The riches they brought back helped fund some of the finest buildings in the world too. The Portuguese capital Lisbon's imposing Jeronimo's Monastery, built over 100 years from 1501, where the navigators could be blessed before they set off on their voyages, was also called the Pepper Palace, partly financed from the proceeds of the trade in pepper. Chef Susana Felicidade cooks at Ribeira Market in Lisbon, Portugal. Today, one of the most exalted dishes served in the restaurants of Lisbon is black pepper chicken, with the pepper most definitely the hero of the dish. Sometimes it seemed the entire population marched on its stomach. That same Jeronimo's Monastery, for example, also spawned another timeless favorite, the Portuguese custard tart. When the Reformation hit the country in 1834, the monastery was closed down and 2 of the monks went off to become bakers, inventing the little delicacies of buttery crisp flaky pastry encasing a smooth custard filling. They are now replicated around the world, but few rival the results of the original recipe now churned out in their hundreds of thousands every day at the Pastéis de Belém, the vast coffee and cake shop just up the road from the monastery. Here, they are so astonishingly delicious, tourists ordered them by the half dozen each. Lisbon's culinary excellence is today everywhere, to be seen its streets lined with an incredible array of cafes, restaurants, and pastelerias or cake shops, and frequented as much by locals as by visitors, pairing their food with a fine selection of local wines and ports. The Time Out Market Lisbon, with stalls set up by many of the city's top restaurants, opened in 2014 and now receives more than 2 million visitors a year. The Portuguese have always loved their food, says Lisbon-based Australian Hannah de Souza. But it's a constantly evolving feast. Bacalhau, for instance, is these days just as popular as it's always been, although now you can get it with spiced quinoa salad. In Portugal, you could say, they now have 4 types of protein. Sue Williams was a guest of bunictourstraveler.com.au.